Hello campers, welcome back to the Casual Car Camper. Today I'm doing a final Biolight review with a little bit of an experiment. First, for the experiment, I've already packed some wood, basically some leaves, a little bit of junk mail, and some small twigs into my Biolight. I've picked up fat wood fire starter from the local Ace True Value Hardware. I'm going to cut this in half because it's a little tall. I don't want it sticking up. Careful, your wood might go flying when you clip it with a pair of pruner shears. I've also picked up today for when you're doing welding. It's supposed to protect you from the heat from the welding, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it underneath the Biolight today, and underneath it are two cheap plastic Dollar Tree cutting boards. And the hope is that this heat shield will protect the plastic from the heat from the Biolight. In previous videos, I have used this on a heavy-duty plastic work table, and there's a ring in the work table now that's fairly deep. So what I want to find out is, will this protect underneath the Biolight? And tonight I'm going to cook a meal for you on it and tell you a few tricks I've learned and give you a final review of the unit. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on. There we go. It does have a full charge. I usually put it on about 2/3 power to light it, and what I've noticed is the way it works is it actually puts the air around the outside. There's holes around, and it just blows it around the inside, so you sort of get a tornado effect. Okay, we're going to give this a minute to get going. The sticks seem to be doing a decent job. They say they're all natural. It appears to be a wood stick coated in paraffin or a beeswax. They are a little smoky. They first get going, and right now I only have it on 2. It seemed to be giving me a little issues. Plus, at first it wasn't getting enough heat. This unit does have a safety feature. The fan will automatically turn itself off if it's not getting heat. The other safety feature it has is if there's a fire, if it's detecting fire at the converter, it won't let you turn it off no matter what you do. It'll just stay on until it's no longer deflecting flame. So the number 2 thing we're going to do today is we're going to plug my phone, which is at 2% power, into my USB out port. So we're going to see how well it charges my phone and runs the flame. Okay, we're getting a nice fire, so I'm going to put on some. These are regular welding gloves. Right now, because of the time of year, it's hard to find fire gloves. Depending on the quality, like if you get mid-grade, both are fairly similar. It is an insulated heavy-duty leather glove to protect you from heat. The better the welding gloves you get, the longer they'll be and the heavier duty material will be, so it can take more heat and actually protect your hands better. But whenever you're working with fire, protect your hands. Wear gloves, especially if you're going to be putting stuff on top of and feeding a flame. Right now I'm looking down, as you can see I'm getting a nice big flame. So what I'm going to do now is grab the grill top of this unit and place it on. Get it down nice and firm and tight. Still getting used to this unit to some extent. When you set it up, I've found it sits the tightest. The grill sits the tightest when you have the control unit facing you and the grill facing out away, so the round part is facing away from your body. Okay, so we've got a nice fire going, so I'm going to give it a little more fuel. And what I did was I picked up some barbecuing wood pellets. You can't start a fire with them. You need something to get your fire going with, but you can feed them into a going fire and they will cook quite well. They'll smoke a little bit. So these are cherry, which add a nice flavor. Unfortunately, you do have to be a little careful because if they douse out your flame, they will not light by themselves. So you're gonna have to keep an eye on it because you really don't want a smoker. You want to. Let me get this back to cooking. I'll be right back with you. Okay, campers, I'm back. We got a nice fire going again. Basically, I put too many pellets in and smothered the flame, and all I had to do was pick up the flames on the material on the bottom with the high fan going, and it gave me a nice hot flame. I don't have it with me today, but in the past I have used a measuring cup. And I found a measuring cup is the best way to add material. You can just go to the dollar store, pick up one of the cheap dollar store measuring cups, and just add some pellets on. So now we have a nice high fire going. We're gonna let this heat up for a second. We're gonna keep an eye on our grill, and I'm gonna go grab myself some hot dogs and some beans. Okay, campers, I am back. So on our Biolight grill top, we have 3 hot dogs going. And I do have a little extra room here, and the hot dogs are cooking quite quickly. Just like any other flame cooking source, you will have hot spots, so you'll have to play with it when you get your unit. I find my hot spots over on this side, but the hot spot could be different depending on your unit and what you're cooking with. So I do recommend getting yourself a pair of tongs also. I picked these up again at the dollar store. A lot of my cooking utensils I use when I'm camping, I buy at this dollar store. That way if they get damaged or lost, I'm not as worried. And piece of resistance, a piece of corn. I found that these cherry wood pellets on the grill with a little bit of corn taste great. And what I'm going to do is open up my feeding lid here and just throw my corn husk in. The fire's strong enough that it'll just completely burn it, so it's less trash I have to worry about. And I've also found that I can cook on this with a pan. It's got to be a smaller pan. This is my 2-cup Stanley pot. I'm sorry, I said pan, I meant pot. My 2-cup Stanley pot. And I've cooked with this in 2 ways. I have put it with the flames coming up and right to the bottom of the unit. I got a lot of ash and soot, and I found that it cooked really fast and kind of burned the stuff to the bottom. So I found the best way, if you're going to use a small pot with this, make sure you have plenty of fuel in it. Put your feed lid down and just let it go. And just make sure you keep an eye on it and stir, because you do not want to get burnt bits on the bottom of your beans or whatever you're cooking in your single person 2-cup pot. Okay, so this is where it's going to get a little boring because I'm just going to be cooking, but or charcoal that you have to keep an eye on your fuel. Feed it, that you have that once it's going, you have to wait till you burn out your fuel in order. Once you've fed it, you have to, if you want it to stop going, you have to basically turn the fan down and let it just burn itself out. There is a little bit of a learning curve with it, I found. It just takes some practice getting used to. The only downside I really have that's unique to the Biolight is I didn't feel that the instructions that came with it were that great, but I have done a lot of various cooking with wood and outdoor stuff. This is the first time I've used pellets with anything. I do like it cooking with the pellets. I find it's a little easier to fill it. The pellets do burn a little longer, or need filling less than I have with the wood. They burn about the same temperature, although I have not done this with the coffee pot yet. You do get once you have a nice strong fire going, you don't get a lot of smoke, you get a little bit, but it does add some flavor to the meat or whatever you're cooking on this grill. I've also toasted buns, and I'll do that again, and you do get a little bit of the cherry flavor on the buns that way. I'll turn I'm actually going to grab it over. I want to show you a few close-up features. So here is the control panel for your Biolight. Here's your output for USB. Underneath is your input for USB. As you can see, this has a full charge right now. I charged it fully about a week and a half ago by plugging it in. I recommend that if you do go camping with this unit, charge it up beforehand. That way you know you have plenty of charging, especially if you're going to use it as an emergency power source for your cell phone. So this is your battery charge. As you can see, it's full. And if it was below full, this would be flashing green showing it's charging. The fan is at full power right now. And as you can see, it's also saying it's getting the maximum amount of energy from the fire. The fire is as high up as it is designed to handle. So if I wanted to, just to be safe, because I don't want to risk damaging anything, I can turn it down. The only thing is you don't have the ability to go from full to 3/4 to half to 1/4. You would go full 1/4, half 3/4. So I got it down to 3/4 power, and the flame's still at max, and I'm not draining power from it. And in the last 5 minutes, my phone has gone up 7%. So it does produce quite a bit of charge, and it cooks quite well. And since we do have the flame going pretty good, we're going to put our beans back on so I can have some beans with my corn and hot dogs. Leaving this go, and I'm going to let this go for a little while, charge my phone, and we're going to find out if we did any damage to the plastic underneath. Campers. So the Biolight is still going behind me. I'm keeping an eye on it and ear on it. Even I have adjusted the temperature a few times, but even with almost a full flame, it's gone down a little bit in power. It does not produce enough power from the flame to charge the cell phone and run the fan. But the fan is running pretty good right now. I just put it in a little bit more. The pellets don't produce too much smoke, but they do produce a little bit of flavor, and they keep it going. It's a little easier to just, especially if you put them in a cup or a small container and pour them in. It's a little easier than trying to scavenge wood. You do need a little wood to get it going, but you can keep it running for quite a while on just the pellets. As I said, overall, I really do like the Biolight unit, especially if you get the deluxe version with the grill and the coffee pot, and then spend the extra $15 for the French press. Altogether, it's a very versatile unit. I can cook a full meal on it. I can make coffee that tastes amazing in it. I can boil water, I could make soup, whatever I want to do. I could even use it to sterilize water if I wanted to give it a quick boil to kill any microbes in it. I could do that with it. I can use it with a pan or a pot, probably even a small pan. So it's fairly versatile. It's a grill, it's a hot surface for a small pot, it's a coffee pot, tea kettle, whatever you need it to be. It's fairly small and portable. Now, I have not tried the Biolight branded non-smoking pellets because the manufacturer is currently sold out. When those do come in, I will give them their own video. A couple other suggestions: whenever you buy anything that comes with like cardboard, I would suggest saving it because it will give you a little bit of tinder material. And I like the fat sticks from Ace True Value. They seem to work pretty good. The fire starters that came with it work really well. I haven't used them since the first time, only because I want to test out other things and really save those for when I'm camping and I put them in with my camping kit. So they'll be used for the Biolight when I'm actually doing my camping and surviving off it when I can't just drive 15 minutes to go home because I'm just at a local park today. So I'm going to pause the video for now, and then once I've burnt out all the material and had my dinner, I'm going to do the reveal on whether or not the heat shield underneath protected the plastic. That is another issue, is because it's metal and it radiates heat in all directions. Whatever you put it over, do not put anything under flammable or something that will be damaged by heat because it will melt it. All right, campers, see you in a moment. All right, campers, welcome back. So the Biolight has finished cooking, or finished heating. It is down to 3/8 power. It's been approximately 45 minutes. And you can see 3/4 of the power supply from the Biolight plus whatever it was producing in thermal electric energy charged my phone from 2% to 51% in about 45 minutes. So it does hold a little bit of a charge. I would not use it as my primary power source for my phone while camping, but in an emergency, in a pinch, it will work. To be honest, folks, honestly, the internal batteries mainly for running the fan and for running your light that comes with it. So if you're cooking at night, you can see, or if you're eating at night after you're done cooking, you can see around your table. It's not a primary battery for your phone, but it can be good for small drain devices. So now what we're going to do is we're going to test out, did the welding pad work? Okay, so no damage to the welding pad. So it looks fairly clean. I've used it twice. No damage to a little warm underneath, but no damage to it. But I have two here, so I'm going to pull one out. What happens if I do this? So these are just the embers, and the plastic on this, just from the embers, is warping and melting almost instantly. After about 10-15 seconds, this is what the cutting board looks like, and it survived almost an hour with the heat right above it. So I'm going to say okay, campers, it looks like I was having some microphone issues at this point, but the results of the experiments shows that a Welding heat strap will help protect anything underneath your Biolight. So I'm going to keep that in my camping gear and use it whenever I'm using my Biolight. I do highly recommend doing the same. Another suggestion, so it doesn't damage anything in my car, what I do is I put it in an old metal coffee can and put it in the back of my vehicle so I don't have to worry about damage. All in all, as I said, I really like the Biolight. I'll keep using it. I'll probably start taking it camping, and you'll see a few more videos with me using it to make coffee and such, because I actually enjoy the coffee that comes out of it. So that's going to be the end of today's review. Go get yourself a Biolight. I give it a 9 out of 10. Factoring in that it's a wood burning, or you can use smoking pellets or smokeless pellets, it's a 10 out of 10. So, well, thank you for watching, and remember, as always, as long as you're having fun, you're doing camping right.